Morning, Joe.
Indeed. Yes, we've all got rocked out of bed, I'm sure, with the thunderstorms by surprise.
No early text about water main breaks or craziness,
No,
so
that
that's
was
a good start.
yesterday. Yeah,
Right.
with this wacky temperature swings, that's what happens, unfortunately.
Yeah, yesterday was bizarre. I was out
Indeed.
at the dock at Marina Bay, the first day for the ferry, and God, it was balmy. And then they come out afternoon time, and it had dropped like 15 or 18 degrees up
Yeah,
at City Hall.
that's what an east wind will do in the springtime off the 50-degree ocean. Change things in a big time. Well, seeing as you started talking about Marina Bay, maybe we can talk about the Lone Sailor statue at the Marina Bay Boardwalk that'll be coming up later this year.
Yeah, actually, later this summer, August 9th, is the date. We'll be dedicating a Lone Sailor statue. I think it's the 19th one around the world. The first one being, of course, in D.C. at the Navy Memorial. And some gents had approached me a few years ago, Navy guys, after we did the General's Bridge and wanted a little notation of the history of the Navy. So we thought it was a good idea and built off of that to include, well, we're going to be honoring six admirals, two of whom are alive and will be with us that day. And then, of course, we've got five other Navy notables we'll be honoring. We're going to be placing the old USS Quincy Bell that used to be up by Town Hall as a centerpiece of this as well, and to tell a little history of that ship and its predecessor. And that's one of the reasons we picked August 9th, Joe, is that was the date in 1942 that the first Quincy went down at the Battle of Savo Island. So it has some meaning there on that day. And then, of course, there's going to be a fairly good-sized wall, structured wall with panels on it that's going to talk about the Naval Air Station at Squantum, the destroyer, the Victory plant where they built destroyers. That was at Marina Bay in World War One, and then, of course, the Fort River Shipyard, which is far more notorious for their work in World War II and beyond. So it's really covering the naval service and the contributions made by the city in the war effort over the years. I think it's going to be a meaningful little park.
And that'll be where on the boardwalk will it be located?
So kind of in the between Ceros and Port 305. So when you're coming into the marina, heading straight toward the boardwalk,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be straight right in front of you at that corner of the boardwalk.
Okay. And is that city property? Is that public property there?
It's not. It's owned by O'Connell Management in part, and Flagship. I think it's Flagship Marine owns a portion of it. So we have license agreements with both.
Hmm. Where is the statue now? Is it in the city?
He is in a warehouse. Actually, I wonder if he's talking to John Quincy Adams. John Quincy Adams is in a warehouse.
Oh, is that right? Okay. And the bell, is that also in the city?
The bell is in the city. It's at the park department, and that will be ready to go. Yep.
Okay, very good. And also in November, a dedication of a new memorial at Mount Wollaston Cemetery.
Yes, that's correct. Since Persian Gulf, Desert Storm, Iraq, Afghanistan, the War on Terror, this latest era of our service to the nation by veterans ought to be honored, and we have, unfortunately, 7 names that will be inscribed in that monument that we lost in service to our country. And so that will be November 9th at Mount Wollaston. It'll be a brand new, beautiful monument in honor of those 7 individuals and all those who have served during this time of the War on Terror. So that will be meaningful. We have a committee formed, and the night before there'll be a ticketed event up at the Elks that will bring everybody together. That hopefully that will participate in some way. I know we have a lot of police and firefighters who are of that era. There's no master list, Joe. We talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
That you get from the Department of Defense of who serves. So pretty soon we'll be announcing a phone number and so forth for people that served during that time period, either from Quincy or now live in Quincy. We'll be looking to get their information so they get an invitation to the event, and we'll probably have a mini parade march down to the cemetery, perhaps from Cardington Street by the high school there.
Mm-hmm.
And General Dunford and General McCon were both retired. Also, Lieutenant Colonel James Cohane and we're hoping that Admiral Colin Kilrain will all serve as co-chairs of the event. The Friday night's event, which would be a nice dinner, get together, and then the Saturday event in Mount Wellison.
Oh, very good. And then, of course, that Monday is Veterans Day. It's the Veterans Day
Indeed,
parade.
that's right.
Mayor, can we talk a little bit about a meeting this evening regarding the renovations planned for Forbes Hill Park?
Yeah, I don't know if the Public Projects has had more meetings than this Forbes Hill Park and the golf course that the city inherited after the deal from 50 years ago, and what I thought would be an easy process which people would embrace, and I think the vast majority have. There's been some folks that have argued about every little point up there. So at the end of the day, we're going to have a continued beautiful golf course for the people of the city to use. We will have beautiful new park facilities, new clubhouse that not only serves the golfers, but will be a beautiful spot. People to stop in, have a burger, and check out the views from that area. It's a beautiful location. So, yes, Commissioner Murphy continues to work with the neighbors and those folks who are self-experts on some of these issues. So I thank Commissioner Murphy and the Park Division of the Natural Resources for their incredible work to date. And later this year, hopefully we'll have everything finished up.
What are the plans to renovate the park? What's in the master plan?
It's been a while since I've looked at it. I know a lot of discussion has been about plantings and trees. Mm-hmm. I forget which elements are going in there. Probably some things that are there now. Basketball court, tennis court. I know we talked in the past about bocce and horseshoe courts and things. So I don't know in the end what was settled on, but it's going to be a huge improvement to an area that was pretty tight and run down, Joe.
Yeah, I know that there's also plans for pickleball parks in the city, not there, but other places later this year.
That's correct. Yeah. Yes, we're trying to catch up with that fad. It's been pretty incredible how that's spread across the country. People seem to be really enjoying it.
And that leads me to two signature events every year in Quincy coming up. On Monday, the 40th annual Quincy Senior Olympics. But before that, this coming Saturday, the 35th annual Cleaner and Greener Quincy.
Yes, both events that I've been wrapped up with for a long time, actually. My first job in the city was Council on Aging Director in 1988. And I remember working on the Senior Olympics with Barry Welch and Betty Campbell and others at that time. Beechwood by the Bay, before the Beechwood School reopened. A lot of history there, and certainly remember Don Strong, who was one of the founders. Pretty amazing how time goes by, Joe. We both now are more than eligible to participate in them. I don't know if you'll be joining the ranks or not, but
only with a camera.
Very wise indeed.
Yes, I know my strengths and weaknesses.
And then, of course, this Saturday, an event that started, I was Chief of Staff of Jim Sheets when this event started, Clean and Green Quincy, and it's pretty amazing how the city has come a long way. Back then, Joe, we had a weekend award, and we were dragging out furniture and washing machines and rusted out cars from some of our parks and marshlands. And over the years, it's gotten better and better, and I think people respect public property a lot more than they used to. And we have the resources today with our parks and DPW divisions to kind of maintain things better. So now it's more of just kind of a quick cleanup. Sometimes you have more debris on the beaches, depending on the winter. Parks, playgrounds around the schools. The school kids participate, the PTOs. It's become an event that's built into the calendar now, the first Saturday, May, and everyone goes out and does a piece. It gives the city a lift. It really does. Mm-hmm. There's hundreds of man-hours on that day that the park guys could never get done in that short period of time. So it's a good lift for the city. And then, of course, we go up to Pageant Field for the annual cookout following.
Yes, and right now the weather looks very good for both events, so let's hope that holds.
I hope so. I haven't looked, so I'll take your word for it, Joe.
I'm just the messenger, man. Don't blame me if it rains, but it's not supposed to right now anyway. Of course, it wasn't supposed to rain this morning either.
Very true.
Thank you so much, Mayor.
Joe, have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.